Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I have watched Assaggiatrici or The Tasters. I'm sorry if I butchered the name Le Assaggiatrici. I do not speak Italian, so I have no idea how to pronounce that word, and I am too lazy to look it up. But the English title, the original, the OG title, the international title, I mean, is The Tasters. And when I first heard the translation for that title, for Le Assaggiatrici, I was very confused, as I did not know what Le Assaggiatrici meant. So I was like, The Tasters. Okay, but it was a World War II movie, and that's about everything I knew about it. I knew it was about tasters, and I knew it was about a group of women that was living in a town, and they suddenly found out that the town was located near the Wolf's Lair, which was Hitler's base, where Hitler was mostly situated, unless he was in Berlin. So he was or in Berlin or in that lair, and he was there quite often. And that's everything I knew about the movie. So I was really interested in seeing where this story was going, what it was going to tell me, because I am a deep lover of World War II stories, and I will always try to watch as many movies set in that time period that I possibly can, because I just want to know the most things about it. I did not know that this movie was fictionalized, so I didn't. I looked it up at the end to see what things were happening for real and what was fictionalized and what was dramatized. Apparently, the story that this movie tackles is so incredibly, how do I say it? It's so incredibly closed off from the public that there's nothing on it. Like a few years ago in the 2010s, the first real scripture came out from a person who was one of the tasters and talked about it, how horrific those days were, and how she was the only one to survive the war, and there's nothing really on it for the rest. So they had to build this entire movie up on the fact that what she was telling. So everything in this movie, apart from some of the things that happened for real, like the assassination attempt on Hitler, those things were all fictionalized. The characters, all fictionalized. Probably some things were riddled with some things that happened for real, and of course the locations are real, and of course some of the events that happen outside of the tasting things are have happened for real, but that's about it, and the rest of it was fictionalized, which was of course a blessing to see something new, to have an open mind about it, but also a little bit of a curse, because after a while, if you know it, you do not respect the movie less. That's not really what I wanted to say with it, but you do feel like, okay, I don't know why, but in my opinion, it's hard for me to follow and care for stories about this time period that are fictionalized, because it's still such a horrific thing that happened in history. So I feel like telling historically inaccurate or historically fake or fictionalized stories about the time period is a weird choice, and is a choice you don't necessarily need to make something good or entertaining to watch, or something educational to watch is maybe the better word. I had the same thing with Overlord. I love Overlord. I think it's a great movie, but having it be situated in World War II, I don't really like that. I have less of a problem with it with Captain America, the First Avenger. I don't know why. So yeah, I have a small problem with fictionalized stories that pretend to be real. Not that this movie pretends to be real, but it feels very real. The reason I am more forgiving for a movie like Overlord or Captain America is because those are definitely fictionalized and can't happen for real, and they just use the time periods to tell a story from the time periods. But this one, I mean, it felt real, which is the main thing that I have. Not that, again, it's not a problem with the movie itself, it's just a feeling I had towards this movie. Is like, okay, why? Can you prove to me why this story is important to tell, even though it is fictionalized? So it's not something historically accurate and educational you're telling, even though this happened for real. why is this trying to, or why is this important? And I have to say that for the most part of this movie, the movie succeeded in doing that. And especially the first half, the movie definitely exceeded in telling us why that this movie was important, because it's still very horrific. It's also told from the perspective of some German woman or women, which made sure that we now are in the middle of Nazi Germany. So we have some conflicts in there, even in your main character, that are like, okay, we need to follow him because he is the Führer and he is like a god, and people who see Hitler as a god, we are now following these people on this journey and having the conflicts in between of them, and having the conflicts in between that group, and having the conflicts with themselves. And that was really great. And the tasting scenes were also really, really intense, and some of the other scenes were also really intense. And that first half of the movie is really gripping and gets you, and you are following it. And from around the halfway points in this movie, the movie shifts and makes a few choices that I just found weird the entire movie, that I don't really think were necessary for the movie. This movie starts to drag. You can really feel the length of the film, because there's only so much you can do with women tasting food that might be poisons. So they tried to add a lot more fluff around it, which made sure that the movie was too big for its own good, too difficult for its own good, too confusing for its own good at times. And it just was all a bit too much in the end. The initial first half was really, really, really intense and really great, only to be brought down by a second half that's more problematic than it was entertaining or educational. And that is really sad, because this movie had a lot of potential to be great and to have a lot of potential to tell something that the world didn't know, or most of the world doesn't know. And it kind of still did that, but also did not nail the ending enough for me to recommend this movie to watch on your own. If you're a big, sorry for the word, fan of World War II stories, not of World War II of course, but of the stories that have been told from the time periods. If you are a big and giant fan of that, and I feel really love those kinds of stories, this movie can be for you. If you're just a regular viewer, you might as well have to skip this one. It's not groundbreaking, it's not perfect, it's not great, it's just fine. It's fine. It's a fine movie. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I think it was still good enough, but could have been a little bit better in the end. Alright, what did you think of this one? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'd like to see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.